Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Um, Welcome to our webinar, our job search webinar. This is the last one you're going to be having in this year, alongside our speaker, Miss Gita Winter. Sadly, it's the last one, Gita, but it's not the first. It's not the last person. It's not the last time we'll see you, basically, right? So I'm just gonna read her bio and then we're gonna get everything started. Yeah. Right. Gita has 16 years of broad experience, broad recruitment experience. She's one of less than 10 people on the continent to hold an individual staffing master designation. She's currently a board member of the recruitment industry governing body. She's passionate about youth development and empowering people with the knowledge and skills to succeed. To this end, she founded Recruiters Care to give recruiters a platform to make meaningful change. Um, Thank you. That's our speaker, Ms. Kintawinza. Can you please the floor is yours.
Thank you. Welcome to everybody that is here. I want to really applaud the people that have made the time to come here. This is an investment in your own futures. And every time you do one of these workshops, one of the activities, you are setting yourself apart from the hundreds of thousands of youth out there that are vying for the same positions you are. So kudos to all of you. I just want to set some house rules. I really strongly feel that at this point, the more you participate, well, at any point actually, the more you participate, the more you get out of it. And I'd like you to start thinking about the principle that every time you show up in one of these kinds of workshops and you put your video on and you ask questions, you are actually practicing interviewing skills, presentation skills, personal branding. So I really actively encourage it. I also encourage questions. Please stop me, put your hand up. As soon as I start sharing screen, I'm not going to be able to see the chat. So rather, please call out. If anybody watches the chat for me, somebody will let me know that there are questions. But the more you ask, the more you get out of it. I really don't believe that there's anything that is off limits. We should be able to have open conversations because that's how all of us learn. And what you ask may genuinely help somebody else. So please feel free. I am absolutely not afraid of answering plenty questions and getting real with you about what it means to be a student in this world and what we're actually going to be looking for when we eventually get your CV. So let me start sharing. Right, let's scroll back up. Can everybody just confirm that you can see the slides, please?
Yes, you can see.
Okay, great. And somebody has set up the poll for me, right?
Yes.
Okay, super. I'll tell you when to do it now. Okay. So the one thing since my bio that has changed is I was awarded my second industry designation through a different professional body. So I'm now also a certified career development practitioner. So now I hold two industry designations. So I am a living example at my young age of 50 something plus of the principles of continuous learning and development. I absolutely live, breathe, eat, sleep, breathe continuous learning. So there's evidence of that. Right. Why start sooner rather than later? So often I hear students say to me, I'm only in my first year. It's like years away from looking for a job. Or I'm in my third year. I've got a couple of months. It's okay. I want to say to you now, it's not okay. If you think about the youth unemployment challenges we have in our country, and I actually did a quick a quick search just before we jumped on here. I went and had a look at HR graduate opportunities, and now is really the prime time for grad opportunities. There were about 1,000 something available on LinkedIn. But when I looked at profiles that had HR graduates in their profile, there were 221,000 odd. And that's assuming that all these grads used HR graduate in their profile. So what that means is that the opportunities for positions far less than the supply that is available in our market. And when I say to you start now rather than later, first years even, this is why. Because to stand out takes time. Developing a brand takes time. Some of the strategies I'm going to talk to you about now are not 2-week things. They are actually long-term views, and in fact are not just for you as students, but really to see you through your career. Your first move to your second move to perhaps a promotion or something along the lines. So really think about this. And there's a principle that I refer to very, very often. You either pay now or you pay later. You sacrifice a little bit of your gaming time or your downtime now, because later it's going to cost you way, way more when you are competing in a tough job market like we find ourselves in now. So I really encourage you, if you are a first-year student now is your time. If you're a third-year student, you may need to maybe get through exams first, but you may need to think about spending a significant amount of time on these things almost straight away. But if you earlier on in your studies, you do have the next 2 or so years to create these fundamental strategies. So let's get cracking. Again, I'm just going to remind you, please stop me anytime. The more conversation we have, the more we get out of it. Right. So let's go back. Can you please put up my first poll, and then let's have a look at what it is. You could all just participate in the poll quickly when you see it pop up.
Can you see it?
I can't see it, but maybe somebody else can. Can somebody confirm if we can see the poll, please?
Yes.
Okay, super. I'm going to give you just a minute to complete it, and then if you wouldn't mind, maybe I'll stop sharing. Then if you wouldn't mind just sharing the poll results when they're done, please.
I personally can't see it.
Okay, I can't see it either. Can everybody see the poll?
I also can't see it.
Okay, please can you reshare the poll for us?
Okay, can you just give me a second?
Thank you. Okay, anybody want to ask while he's putting up the poll? Anybody want to ask a question, talk about the importance of standing out or starting sooner rather than later? Anybody had experience already about the competitiveness of our market? No? Okay.
Can
Got it?
anyone just confirm if they can see the poll? I just
No.
sent it again.
Wait, is it in the chat?
Yes, it's in the chat.
Oh, I thought it was
it.
going to pop up here.
No, it's in the chat.
I don't see it in the chat either. Okay, I'm not going to worry. Don't
I
worry.
still can't see it in the chat too.
No, I can't see it. Okay, don't worry. We'll go without it. Okay, let's maybe have a conversation about it rather. So when you guys, or when you are when you're looking for jobs, looking for work integrated learning opportunities, what do you typically do? So tell me where you apply, where you look for jobs. Yes, I can see a hand up. Please, you're welcome to unmute and let me know.
My name is Pelele, but you can be pronouncing it as Prince. I've been using LinkedIn, Pnet, and also Indeed,
Okay.
of which we've been finding some challenges in most of these app or sites where you tend to apply, but you normally don't get a response out of it because most
Mm-hmm.
of companies, organizations, or businesses usually do provide a section for you to able to send your application, but normally they don't tell you what went wrong and where you can try and actually upgrade your CV or look for better opportunities in terms of when you structure it. So that is normally how we tend to remain baffled or mystified of how we tend to apply on this company.
Absolutely. That's very valuable. So job portals, LinkedIn, that's your primary method. Okay, cool. Does anybody else do something different? Apply anywhere else or look for opportunities anywhere else besides job portals and LinkedIn? Maybe if you raise your hand or give me a thumbs up if that's what most of you do. Oh, thank you for that. Most of us. Okay, yes. And you know what? That's typically what most people do. But I'm sure somewhere along the line on the on LinkedIn, you may have seen that people talk about that hidden job market, the specs we don't see, all of that stuff. And truthfully, it's not as hidden as people make it out to be. And you've often heard people talk about it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's partially true. So let's see what are our options and how we can tap in better. And again, remember, some of these are not a quick fix. We need to work on these over time. So these are the traditional methods, right? Job portals. So a PNet, Careers 24, Indeed, executive placements, all of those, best jobs, all of those places. And some of those also allow you to set up alerts. And I really encourage you to create alerts for this. But in order to know what alert you need to set, you need to have done some prior research. So I'll talk about that a little bit now. But fundamentally, it means that you need to know what are your options. Because when you set up alerts, you want to capture a little bit of a bigger basket. Otherwise, you'll get maybe one alert. But you want to get an alert for a specific job title, a family of jobs, or a specific industry. And that will broaden your options almost immediately. I'd imagine that some of you might be applying directly to some companies. So as an example, you see First National Bank is advertising positions. You go onto the website, you go onto the careers page, you upload your CV and a profile. You might apply for a job or two, but your profile pretty much sits there. That is a way to do it. And again, when I go down the bottom to mapping, this is a technique that we're going to use quite often. You should be, if you aren't already, looking for some specialist niche recruitment agencies. So if you are studying something in the engineering field or something in the design space, there are likely to be an entire spectrum of recruitment agencies that you could be connecting with, where they have very similar to company websites where you can upload your CV and you can become known to them. And then there, of course, are the very specific programs that are sometimes government organized and sometimes partly privatized, like the YES program, Harambee, sayouth.mobi, all of those programs. Realistically, you should be using all of these already. Every single one of these as an absolute basic, this should be on your to-do list. Anybody want to have a quick question about which job portals, where, any questions on this at all? Three, two, one, go. Okay. again, sorry, I see a question. You're welcome to unmute. Hand up, sorry. Prince, I think it was you.
Oh, yes. Regarding the job portal, we see that we are given opportunity to create a profile that
Yes.
we are able to adjust it for companies to be able to review our profile or CV in terms of how we've structured it. Is it more realistic for an individual to structure a job portal while expecting a company to approach maybe me as an individual who just created a portal where they normally after weeks or whenever they look for an employee, do they approach individuals based on how they structure their portal or just when they browser and find that individual who just pasted or just created a profile on these job portals?
Okay, that is a very good question. Thank you for that, Prince. So there's a couple of things that happen. So when you create a profile on a job portal, you can only create one profile, right? And upload one version of your CV. And that is why it's absolutely critical that your profile, which is pretty much your standard personal details, contact details, and the like, and perhaps your preferences. So you can tick temp, perm, contract work, locations, etc., and your kind of years of experience and all of those kind of, let's say, hygiene factors. But then you can upload a CV. And really what I'm saying to you, and next year when we run the CV workshop, I really encourage you to come, because you want to create a CV that speaks to a basket of opportunities that you could be suitable for. Because if you hyper customize it for one job, when I as a recruiter go into search for candidates, and I subscribe to 2 job portals, and I might go and put a couple of keywords in. Sorry, somebody's talking. If you can mute yourself, please. Can we mute the person that's talking, please? So when you've done that, I will go and find you, right? I'll go search those job portals. You will come back as a result. I'll open your CV. I'll look at your profile, and then I might actually reach out to you. So the answer is yes, in both respects. We look for you, and your profile and your CV make a difference when we do. Answer the question? Okay. I saw a hand from Owen Tooley.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
I heard you speaking about there being a CV workshop next year. I'm in
Yes.
my final year. Could we ask if we have something similar or along those lines before we even close? Because just like you were saying, some of us only have a few months to get it cracking.
Oh dear. Okay, I will check in with the alumni department. But if you, you know what, I'll check in with them. Please just check in with me or with them later on, and I'll see if I can squeeze in something for you. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay.
ma'am.
There was a question from, I think it's Agabella, if I'm pronouncing it right. Sorry if I'm not.
Good afternoon. No, I wanted to ask a question. I think you answered me.
Okay.
Yeah, since there's so many career paths in IT, that how should one draft their CV if they're still
Okay.
which direction to take?
Okay, that's the CV workshop. So I'll try and cover a little bit about it just to give you an overview. And one of the prompts that I'm going to share with you later will actually help you anyway. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Then I'm taking the final one. There was, I think it's S. Makatini.
Good day, ma'am.
Hi.
I hope you can hear me. So I have a question about the YES programs and how they specifically work, and when entering them, do you maybe get certificates, or could you maybe just delve deep into the part of YES program, because I couldn't understand the part where they said if once you have joined a YES program, you cannot join another YES program.
Yes, that's true. So the idea of the YES program is to give as many individuals an opportunity for work experience or work opportunities as possible. So once you do one, ideally the spot should become available for another person who has yet to have that opportunity. That does not preclude you, though, from applying to other programs, other internships. So you'll see, I see very often grads doing a number of internships. That's okay. But the YES program was specifically designed to maximize opportunities across broad numbers of people. But it is still viable, and I would still say yes. You would get a certificate of participation, and you could use it on your CV as a work opportunity, which is in fact something that establishes some form of career expertise. So I highly encourage it. Okay, but there are other ways, right? Volunteering, but that's again a completely different workshop. So we can cover that at some other point. Okay. If any of you are not, you should be tapping into campus resources, career development units, on-campus job boards. You should be going to as many the career days and engaging with the people, the companies that are showcasing there. And when I say engaging, do more than the average. The average person comes up to a stand, stands there, takes a pamphlet, hovers around, but doesn't actually show up and present themselves. And the people that do that are the people that stand out to us. And that's what you want. You want to be memorable. So it's not okay to just be there. It's better to show up and really participate. And then have a look at and tap into your alumni networks. These are your community. These are people that have gone on and gotten jobs and can give you advice and perhaps connect you. So it is an avenue that very few people really tap into, but it is something that is absolutely viable and something that you should be doing almost straight away. The next thing is building networks. So this is when we're talking about, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Sometimes you don't have to know them personally. So it's not your mother, brother, friends, aunties, uncles, mothers of friends, and the like. But if you are in your first year now, you should be building a strategic LinkedIn connection base right now. And that is not, so if you go and look at your LinkedIn now and you've got 200 connections, really go and look at those 200 people and go, right, how are these people going to help me get a job? So if they're all of your student buddies, it isn't going to help you unless those buddies have moms in HR, in which case that's cool, but it's very unlikely. So you want to be looking at your LinkedIn connections from a strategic standpoint. When we get to the industry mapping section in a couple of slides, that is where you're going to identify the people you should be connected with. But at a broader level, you want to be connecting with people in the jobs that you are likely to apply for now and potentially your next career move. So let's take that IT one as example. IT is incredibly broad. And let's say you're currently doing something in the analysis field or software development. Your connection should be people that are already in those roles, software developers, test analysts, business analysts, project managers, development managers, maybe DevOps engineers. You want to be sure that your connections can tap you into the companies they work with, can share knowledge, and can give you insights. So now, right now, is the opportunity to go and audit your connections. And if you haven't got a good connection base, and when I say good connection base, you shouldn't be chasing numbers, you should be chasing quality. But in all honesty, if your connections are less than 500, your visibility is very small. You should be gearing yourself towards 2,500 connections comfortably. Strategic connections, not random connections. But that also will include specialist recruiters, HRBPs, talent acquisition specialists, and the like. So please do that. Anybody want to ask me about your connections before we move on from here? Thank you. I see a hand. You're welcome to unmute. I can't hear you. You might be on mute. Okay, I'm going to move on. If you'll still have a question, you're welcome to shout out in a second. On LinkedIn, when we're talking about communities and we're talking about the opportunities to learn and be seen, you should be following strategic groups and pages. And by pages, I mean company pages, specialist networking sites. If you're in the IT space, you might want to follow the DevOps Engineer South Africa group, wherever. But there are a lot of groups that you can join. And in one of the prompts that I think are in your personal branding workshops that you'll see again next year, I'll also give you an AI prompt that will suggest LinkedIn pages and groups that you ought to belong to. But you can just go and search it on LinkedIn, and it's try and have a look for local groups, larger groups, groups where you can see there's a fair amount of engagement, because you don't want to belong to a group of 2 people. Again, it's not necessarily going to help you. These also take time, right? You need to engage with these groups. You need to be visible. You need to be producing content and showing some social proof of knowledge, skills about your industry. So again, not a quick fix, a time strategy. Definitely start now. And then there is absolutely nothing better than in-person events. If you haven't been to a summit or an expo or a meetup in your space, actively go and search them out. The more you're seen there, the more you're visible there, the more you engage there, the more opportunities you open up for yourself. The networking opportunities at in-person events is monumental. And when I say in-person events, meetups as an example, there's a meetup for almost everything on the planet. Some of them are local, some of them are online, some of them are hybrid. Even if they are online, your visibility and interaction there opens up many, 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 many doors. Absolutely worth the time and effort. Anybody have any questions on this section? I'm going to show you what to do with your connections in a bit. So if there was a question, you can park that one. Any questions? No? Okay. Right. In the process of being visible and to showcase something about you that will encourage people to consider you as an option, you need to be building what I call career capital. And career capital is your application of knowledge. It shows what you're capable of, how you think, how you apply what you know to real world scenarios, and really what gets you to stand out. I guarantee you now, and if you don't believe me, you're welcome to go and do some research. And when I'm there on the 21st of November, when I win, you can take me to lunch. But if you go and Google or go and look on LinkedIn, 90% of students have an absolutely stock standard LinkedIn profile. There is very little value proposition. Most of the sections that are you can utilize on LinkedIn are not used, and there is no content that showcases what you're about, and you miss 90% of the opportunities because of that. When I, as a recruiter, go to go and search on LinkedIn, and I go and actively source candidates from LinkedIn, both at grad level and at senior level. I don't only find you and your name and then click connect. I go and see what you've posted, where you belong, what you follow, what you comment on, because it all builds a picture of you. So this becomes so, so important. And again, I'm saying, if you're in the early stages of your qualification, actively seek out VAC and volunteer work. Job shadowing is not very common these days, but if you've strategically networked, you can reach out to people and have conversations. May I have 30 minutes of your time once you've built a relationship where you can talk me through your industry, your company? What recommendations do you have for upskilling? What do I need to know entering our space? That is so rarely done that you immediately start standing out. And when that person sees an opportunity in their business, they will very likely reach out to you because you've taken the extra steps. You become more visible. Don't forget part-time jobs. So you might be working in a retail store, but you're learning valuable workplace skills there. That contributes to your career capital. Don't forget about transferable skills. Much of what you learn in projects or in personal jobs that you do. So you in IT, but you're known in your community for fixing the laptop or for helping with software issues. That's a transferable skill that you ought to be talking about. Lots of opportunity for career capital if you join committees on campus, and even more so if you chair or head those committees, or perhaps if you're the treasurer of your res. Hugely valuable career capital, which will long-term help you. And then again, your personal branding and social proof. What you post is far more valuable when you're thinking about job opportunities than you can ever imagine. How you show up, even in events like this, is part of your social brand. Now, I'm going to remember probably 3 people from this because only 3 people engaged with me. So I'm going to go and check Prince out shortly after this to see what Prince does, and maybe I can help Prince. But I don't really know. I haven't really seen much of anybody else, but Prince showed up in a big way. So from a personal branding point of view, this was an opportunity to show up, and absolutely somebody that will be top of mind for me. And there are so many of these opportunities in so many places, and I just need you to be aware of it. In terms of building career capital, you constantly want to be looking at your gaps and your skills development opportunities. So when you're looking and applying for jobs, so when you're on PNet and you're looking at the jobs, are you starting to take stock of what is most commonly required of you in that space? So let's say you're an accountant and you've noticed that 90% of the jobs ask for pastel, but you've got QuickBooks. So the question then is there a way for you to address that gap? Can you do a pastel course? Maybe you see that they look for Excel at an advanced level. You think yours is intermediate. Could you do a bunch of short courses or free workshops and see if you can upskill yourself on Excel? These things matter. Career capital is something you should be building from year one and almost right now if you don't have any of this stuff in place. And specifically, if I can't find it on your LinkedIn. Yes, I see a question. You're welcome to unmute. Hi. I can't hear you. I think you may have muted yourself.
Mr. Wata, can you please unmute yourself since you had your hand up?
Okay. I'm going to move on. Is there anybody else that maybe has a question? Okay, I'm happy to go back to things at a later point. Okay. When you are looking for a job, and that's where we were talking about that IT example was a really, really great one. You need to look beyond one job title to a range or a job family, as an example, if for want of a better word. And you need to be considering the flexibility in career paths. There's very really now a linear path to any one point in your career. There are multiple routes to get to a defined objective later on in your career. So what I'm saying to you now is go and explore roles related to your qualification. How broadly can you think about this? So let's say you're studying PR and communications and you think you could be a PR consultant. What other opportunities are there for you? You could be a content developer. You could consult in a marketing space. You could look at a whole range of jobs in that area. And you'll see that I've indicated that this is an AI opportunity. Those people that are here at the end, I'm going to copy and paste all the prompts that will give you all of these answers at the end. But you really want to be looking at what are my options? How broadly am I looking? So when I'm looking for jobs, am I sticking to one job title? Am I sticking to maybe only two? Or have I thought about a much bigger option beyond one job title? Because if that's what you're doing, you've probably closed yourself off to probably an additional 40 or 50% of the available jobs that might be out there. And when I say explore roles to qualification, so let's say you're doing risk management. Risk management could be so diverse. You could be a compliance officer. You could be a risk analyst. You could be an auditor. You could be millions of other things. So really what I'm saying to you is dig deep here. Use the AI prompts that I've given you. Find yourself multiple routes of career paths that will open up more opportunities for you right now. Any questions on this one?
Where are the AI prompts on the chat? Where I can't see them.
You're right, because I will only post them at the end for the people that stick around to the end.
Okay.
And then I'll post all of them in one go. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Here's industry mapping. And this is an incredibly valuable exercise to start as early as humanly possible, because it is a big task. Again, I've created an AI prompt to get you started, but you may need to run this prompt frequently to stay up to date. So really what you're looking at is, let's say you are in, let's say HR. It's the easiest one to do. HR is literally applicable to every industry and every sector and all company sizes. So it is a very broad sector. Once you've identified an industry or a sector, you then want to go and identify all of the companies in that sector. Literally all. I would start with the biggest companies, then the SMMEs, and lastly, I would look at the really small businesses. But don't discount small businesses. They can be incredibly valuable employment opportunities. And sometimes they give you broader exposure than some of the large companies where your duties, responsibilities are very siloed to a job description. So you want to know industry and sector, all of the companies that make up those industries. Once you've got that, you really want to identify your top 20 prospects, the companies that you identify as the companies you most likely want to work for. Don't discount the next 20 down, but you want to really create a focus around your top 20, a targeted focus around those. When you know that, you're going to move on and you're going to look for the people in strategic positions that work at those top 20 or 40 or however many you've got time to do. If you've started this earlier in your career, you should be building up to hundreds by the time you're looking for opportunities. And you'll have been well connected in your space. So let's say it's PepsiCo. You want to go look for the HR manager at PepsiCo, the HR coordinators, HR officers, talent acquisition specialists. If you're in IT, you want to look for the IT manager, the development manager, everybody that's in the position that you are aspiring to be with. That will build a very good who do you know base. And when a job opportunity comes up at PepsiCo, provided that you've demonstrated career capital and you've posted and you've engaged, you are going to be able to tap into those connections and go, hey, I see there's an opportunity in that space. I would love to apply. What tips can you give me? Or, hey, HR manager, we've been following each other for a while on LinkedIn. I saw there was this position. Can we apply? So it is a very targeted approach. Once you've joined or found these companies and built connections, you absolutely have to follow their pages. You have to engage with the posts of people that you've connected with, because you can't connect. It's like buying a bottle of Coke, putting it in the back of your fridge, and 3 years later looking for it. That add no value, zero. So when you need to engage with these people that you've connected with, you need to follow them. You need to comment on their posts. You need to share their posts. You need to build community around your targeted approach. Once you know the companies, you build connections, you want to look for specialist recruiters in this space. And there are many, many, many. You can use a simple approach or AI prompt that goes, I am a student in this sector. I would like to look for specialist recruiters that recruit in these spaces. Please create a list. You'll get loads. Don't forget some generalist recruiters that may work in those spaces. You'll know that by the type of positions they advertise on their websites, but you really want to target the specialist recruiters in your spaces. You then want to start looking for the commonalities in this industry. So, are there specific methodologies? So let's say you are in the industrial design space. Should do 90% of the jobs or the environments that you're looking for use lean or 5S? Do you know that? Is it present on your CV? If I was searching for you, would I be able to see it? Are in the HR space or in the payroll space, or what software and tools are they utilizing? Because you need to know that that is what needs to be present on your CV and on your profile. You also need to know that it's an opportunity for potential upskilling or potential gaps that you need to address when you're applying. This is a big task. It takes time, and it really is something that is incredibly worth doing, because I can't tell you how many positions I have filled because people connected with me in this way. Questions, comments? Anybody would like to maybe talk about a specific sector or industry that we can play around with, brainstorm? Yes, friends.
Thank you for the opportunity again. In looking into the sector of industry mapping, you'll find that within the industry sectors, part of the companies, they tend to offer opportunities when they have open opportunities. So for you going to, for instance, to Toyota to ask for such an engagement of which you just mentioned, it won't be such explicit it is, but it will require for them to say, I would have to make some time for you. So normally you would feel not necessarily being lazy, but lacking that insensitive or enthusiasm to even say, I will go and approach HR manager. Maybe you're going to do it online or even at a space where you're able to even see them at the time. But how can you function from the situation and say you approaching that person maybe on LinkedIn and then thinking they will reply to you swiftly as soon as or explicitly as you text them? What is the odds of that happening into trying those kind of sectors of trying to contact those people?
Okay, I'd say the opportunities are less than 5%, so the chance is less than 5%. When I remember in the beginning, I said that there are some strategies that take time and there are long-term strategies. This is one of them. So you can't connect with somebody in an HR position and immediately send them a thing and go, hey, I'm looking for a job. Can you hook me up? It's not going to happen, right? Now, what you're wanting to be doing is build relationship and presence, and then create alerts on these company pages or job pages for positions that do come up. Or you want to investigate internship graduate programs in those companies. And there are multiple sites where you can check internships and graduate opportunities. Puff and Pass, My Graduate, there's tons of them, right? But let's say you've connected with an HR person. You can send a message that goes, thank you. I would value your connection. This is an industry that I'm particularly interested in pursuing in my career. I look forward to your posts and comments and learning from you. Great. You leave it there. They may or may not reach out to you, but you're going to keep a lookout for posts that this person may have. Or you could see, say, a news article that PepsiCo put out, and there is one actually, PepsiCo looking to rebrand the Lay's chips and the opportunities for tapping into market. You could take that news article, repurpose it, tag strategic people, and allow them opportunity to engage with your posts over time. Then when PepsiCo open up for graduate opportunities and you apply, you can apply through the channel that was prescribed, but you can also go and say, hi, Sarah, we've been connected for a while. We've engaged in a couple of posts. I have applied for this graduate opportunity. Welcome any advice or look forward to your responses. Great. It's a long-term strategy. It's not going to deliver quick results all of the time. Is it impossible? No. Is it likely? No. This takes time. You need to work on this for a long, long while for it to be of any value. I'm not saying that it's not, because even if you do the industry mapping and you find companies, it still gives you the space to check more companies out than the little bits of jobs that you found on PNet. Because not every company subscribes to PNet. It's a paid service. So as a recruiter or a company, we have to pay to load our ads there. It's not free at all. So you've got to know that some companies use different platforms for different opportunities. So the more you're tapped into where they are, the more opportunities you're giving yourself. Anybody else have a question?
Hi, you asked if we would want to give you an example of an industry. I think, can we please focus on the IT? Because as you're speaking, the industry mapping thing, for instance, I was zoned in on one thing, and that career path, I'm slowly starting to realize that it's not for me. And that is jaw-dropping and nerve-wracking to come to that conclusion in my final year. So could we focus on the IT sector?
Okay, so what are your
different-
majors?
My majors are business information systems, business analysis. So technically, my qualification is called the diploma in ICT business analysis. But for whatever reason, I've just never been interested in being a business analyst.
Okay.
So instead, I've really focused more on the software development. But as I was saying, I'm slowly starting to come to the realization that that's not for me.
You don't want to be a developer or a business analyst.
None of that. No.
Okay.
None of that.
What does interest you? So let's think about that. Here's the question to ask yourself. So given that, and you know what, one of those prompts will really help you, but you could go into business intelligence. It touches on you using coding practices for a completely different purpose. And it kind of touches on the business analysis skills, but it is a really strategic position in an organization that allows you to utilize both of them for a very different purpose. You engage with more business, with more units. You use data very differently. Today, data is currency. So there's lots of things you can go into: test analysis, architecture, business intelligence, data analytics. There's loads of stuff you could do. So when you've used one of those prompts, maybe we can work on it a little bit together if we can squeeze it in this year. Okay.
Okay. That
All
I
right.
would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Because again, IT is used in almost every sector, in almost every size company in a consulting space. So you might be able to go in consulting, which gives you, so companies like BSG, Accenture, Ultron, not Ultron, sorry, BCX, all of the large consulting companies which use IT skills on many different consulting projects so that you have broad exposure and opportunities. It might be an option for you. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Cool. Anybody else? Can we move on? Because we're going to run out of time. Right. Let's go. And then we can use whatever we've got left. Again, AI opportunity. Have written a prompt for you. You can use it. So when you are looking at making a targeted application approach, and by that I mean you're not just having a profile on a portal and sitting back and waiting. You've seen that job at PepsiCo and you want it now. You've got to do your research. You've got to know what is required of this. What is the industry looking like? What are the challenges for that industry? How would I position myself? Who am I connected with? You need to go and look at your CV versus the job, because that defines the approach you might take on an application. You need to see, where do I contribute to the value proposition of this organization, that specific job, or that industry? All of this is research before you click submit, before you send your CV. You're going to use that 80% guideline. If you don't meet 60% or more of the job, you're very, very unlikely to get a response, let alone an interview. But if the 60% is kind of on the border, you then need to be looking at transferable skill. But then you need to have some career capital to back that up. But this is all research. This is something you need to learn over time. It's something you want to practice on now. So I would say go for Prince, for example, because I know Prince has applied to some jobs on LinkedIn. Take the same jobs you applied for that you didn't get feedback on. Apply this AI prompt. See how different your approach would have been if you had defined this on application. Maybe that was your missing gap, that you didn't articulate your value proposition strongly enough. And therefore, you just became part of the hundreds of other students who sent a CV that goes, I'm a student, I have a degree, yay for me. Okay. So use this every time you apply for a position. Am I suited? Can I define my value? Who am I connected with? How am I going to show transferable skills? What research backs up or quantifies my suitability for a position? And then very few people follow up. So again, on PNet, sometimes you have an agency name. Sometimes you have a company name, but there's no person's name. Very, very rarely are there people, direct contacts there. But that doesn't stop you from researching it, from going to find performability recruitment, picking up the phone and saying, hi, I applied for a position. I just want to check that you've got it. I wanted to quickly let you know why I'm so keen on this position. If you've got any questions, let me know. Very few people do that. And when I say very few, I advertised a grad position, I think 3 weeks ago. I got 2,900 applications in the first 2 days. 2 people phoned me. 2. Guess which 2 people I submitted straight off the bat? And I lied. 3 people phoned me, I submitted 2. And the third one wasn't suitable at all. But because they took the time to contact me, I took the time to help them. We fixed their CV. We got them looking better off. It is 100% worth the extra step. And then lastly, I say learn from each one. And that is so important. So that example that I just gave Prince now, every time you apply, you don't get a response. There was a reason why not. You either didn't follow the application instructions, you didn't articulate your value, I couldn't tell from your CV how you were a match, or when I was searching through my inbox or on the job portal, there weren't enough keywords in your CV for you to rank highly in the results of my search. That is why it takes time to research this. It's something you need to work on from the start, but you need to understand your industry. And when you've learned, so when you can go back and say, I can see what I could have added, edit your CV straight away. Save that version, because there may be a version of your CV and you can't have 50 versions. It's uncontrollable madness. But you can have a version, let's take that IT one as an example, that streamlines you into say data analytics, and another one that puts you in IT consulting. You can edit 2 versions of your CV to be relevant and fit for purpose. And you can only do that when you take the time to analyze the why not, or to analyze the why. So when you are getting responses and you are being invited for interviews and people are phoning you, go back and look at that CV and say, why was that? Because that is going to help you when you apply for positions. Critical, have a goal, set some timelines, understand what you've got to work with. So if you are in your 3rd year and it's November and you haven't got a CV and you're not connected and you don't have a map, your timelines may be very different from somebody that's sitting in the room in year 1, who's got the time to develop a brand and a map and a connection base. You need to track and analyze it. The more you learn from it, the better you get, the quicker you get better. It's incredibly important. Always address your gaps. So if you've seen that you can edit your CV, do it. If you know that there's a specific technology and you can go and do some SQL scripting on free courses or 100 Rand Udemy course, you've got a choice to make then. Yes, I hear people go, or students go, oh, but courses are so expensive. So is braiding your hair expensive? Do I spend 400 Rand braiding my hair, or do I do 2 Udemy courses on SQL scripting? That's your choice, ultimately. Do I buy those Guess jeans at 500 Rand, or do I go and do a pastel course? Your choice. Do I spend 2,000, maybe not 2,000 Rand, that might be a little bit extreme. Do I go to a club every night or every weekend and spend 300 Rand on drinks? Or do I save that 600 Rand in the month and do something that develops my skills? Again, your choice. But when you've made those choices to pay now or pay later, you will feel the consequences one way or the other. And then you want to do some continuous assessment. It's not good enough to have an industry map. You need to understand the changes, the drivers, the growth industries. So looking a few years back, solar was a growth industry. Timu was a driver in retail. Going back to work was an option. International exposure, BPO, business process outsourcing centers, became a much bigger player in our international markets. You need to stay tapped in, not only for this reason, because it can define your jobs. You don't want to be going to apply for a job that is going to be obsolete in 3 years' time, of no value. You need to understand the changes in your space. But more importantly, it will also help you drive your own growth. It will also help you to see changes quicker. It will also help you to upskill. And once you are tapped into, say, blogs, news articles, market trends, all of those things can be repurposed, not just to help you with this, but to develop content that builds your career capital, your social proof, your knowledge. So let's talk recently, if you're in HR and you saw there was the changes on the ZEP permits again, or you saw there was an update in parental leave, or you saw that there was the fair pay bill pending. All of those were opportunities for you to create posts to showcase your knowledge and application of skill in the HR space. You can use lots of these things multiple different ways, save yourself some time. Again, I've created a prompt for this. There is a LinkedIn course, personal branding course. It also helps you to start defining that career capital in a much more strategic way. So if you're here next year, I encourage you to do those as well. And that's that. This is the QR code to my LinkedIn profile. Please don't look at my last few weeks, because this is one of those do what I say, not what I do moments. I generally post lots and lots of tip advice on all sorts of career related things. I share jobs. I try very hard to share as many student opportunities, grads, opportunities, internships as I possibly can. I cannot connect with you anymore. I've reached my maximum LinkedIn connections, but I can be followed and I can follow you back. And that's where I'm going to stop. Does anybody have questions? Anything you want me to go back on? Because I see we are on the button with time, but I'm happy to say, let's do something else. Oh, I see there's a question in the chat. Can I answer that one quickly?
Oh, yes, please answer.
Okay, so the question was, what do you say about applying using the job portals or LinkedIn's easy apply feature? No problem, provided that your LinkedIn profile is on point and you have maintained it correctly. Otherwise, you may as well not bother. You may as well not bother. Same way, if you use the easy apply function, very often it routes you to a different platform where you have to upload a CV. If your CV isn't really good and you're not demonstrating career capital, you may want to do that before you apply. What are the most effective strategies for standing out when applying for jobs online? Everything I said today, you need to have career capital. Your profiles need to be great. Your CV needs to be on point. You need to be present where people can find you. Because when I go to look at you, and I'm looking at 3 different HR graduates, if one of them is commenting on posts and sharing articles and talking about the relevance of acts and how this might change industry, I'm more likely to contact that person than somebody who doesn't have a banner. The About Me section says very little. There's no skills section, and I can't see any value whatsoever. That's the difference, really, the difference. Any other questions while I quickly copy and paste all of these prompts in? I'm going to copy them one at a time so that it doesn't get confusing. So this first prompt is job strategy prompts, helping you find alternative career paths and job titles. There is that one. Anybody have any questions while we are doing this quickly? Before I'm in trouble for taking up too much time? There's an industry sector and company mapping prompt. There's that one. There's one for your CV analysis that will help you create a value proposition, look at gaps. And then here's your value proposition. Any questions? Are you all busy copying prompts before somebody deletes them?
Any questions, guys? Hello, any questions?
It's like back in the old days of when Zoom first started. Hello, hello, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Guys, just to remind you, this is the last webinar we're gonna have this year. So you may want to answer your questions now because it's the last one, and we're only gonna continue again next year. So it's truly now or never.
Yeah, take it or leave it. If you phone me afterwards, I'm charging you. Just saying. But please copy the prompts. I see that there's a hand. You're welcome to unmute. It doesn't seem like your mic is working. Do you maybe want to type your question in the chat?
Type your question, Mr. Wata, please.
Anybody want to ask me any questions specifically on any of the prompts? Because they are very detailed prompts. They're not one sentence stories. I don't see
I
any
think for me, ma'am, I don't have any question to ask you. In fact, I'm still doing, as you were saying, copying, making sure that the prompts aren't deleted. Just want to thank you for the opportunity. That's about it. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
And honestly, because how many people here are in third year? Put your hands up if you're in third year. Okay.
How many people are in the Duty Rise program?
Oh, gosh. Oh, bugger. Oh, dear. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, yeah?
There's a lot of them. Okay, I'll tell you what. Lily, if you want to, and you don't have to manage it yourself, but I'm happy to do one extra session this year that can cover at least the CV or some of the personal branding stuff.
Okay, I will let Ronel know since
Okay.
he couldn't join us today.
I don't mind setting it up myself and giving you the link, and whoever joins, joins. And if they don't, they don't. That's also fine. But I don't mind managing it externally if because I know that you guys also have a lot to do in the last bit of the year before the year
Yes.
wraps up from an admin point of view as well. So there's
Yes.
always that.
There's a question in the chat. It says,
Okay.
I was wondering whether social media profiles like your Facebook or Instagram are important. Is it something that companies look at specifically because my efforts of managing has been via them rather than LinkedIn?
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay. So first of all, LinkedIn is the primary professional networking platform. So if you've been doing Instagram and Pinterest rather than LinkedIn, you've done yourself a disservice. I say that with a big but, unless you are in a design space, graphic design, architecture, anything that is more visual, in which case you want to have a presence there, but you also want to have a presence on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, as an absolute minimum, I really recommend you get your LinkedIn profile sorted out now. Most recruiters will go to LinkedIn first, will look at job portals, and maybe go and search for you elsewhere. But when I'm interested in you, and specifically if you're in IT, where I might go and look at your Git portfolio, see if you have a presence on Reddit or Stack Overflow or any of those IT sites, or maybe Behance or any of those places where I find creative people, I'm going to go and look for you there. But I'm also going to do a quick social media search on you. I also want to look for the scary, hairy stuff, right? Like you need to consider your entire personal brand on all sites. But depending on where you are, you can put backlinks from your LinkedIn to say your Instagram or to your subreddit or wherever it is that you are. But LinkedIn is a necessity. Does that answer your question?
I think it did answer his question.
Okay, any other questions before we wrap up? Like you said, it's a going, gone opportunity. And I don't mind staying on a little bit later to help you guys, but I can't if I don't know what it is.
I see a hand.
Okay, there's
Mr.
lots of hands.
I think it's Hey Gabela, you can unmute your mic and ask.
I don't know if it's the old hands when I asked who was in third year.
Yes, sorry.
No worries. But you got no questions.
Miss, for me, it's a request because you did just offer yourself to hosting something externally. I think none of us would complain, man, even if you did this during December holidays. Like we need as
Nobody
much
but me, you mean? would
Oh,
complain.
yes, you, man. We'll all buy you chocolate later.
Okay, deal.
We need the jobs like ASAP.
I'll give you a list. I don't eat bacon. I don't eat coconut. I don't eat. But you know what? I genuinely don't mind. my office is open until say the 13th of December. I do not mind doing this after exams. So yeah, I'm definitely open to doing that.
But you don't work here at DUT, right? You're external.
Yes, in Johannesburg.
Oh, okay, okay.
But you guys, okay, but not you guys in third year, but next year I will do much more with the RISE program. Yeah, I come down to Durban in person a couple of times a year. So those are opportunities, but I can definitely do an online one in December. I genuinely don't mind. I run these workshops for lots of them. So what I'll do is I could potentially open it up to the other universities and do 2 sessions in December and make it available for anybody that needs it in this last little bit.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Remember the chocolate, eh?
It's coming. I'm saying it's coming.
Okay, any other questions before we wrap up? Happy to do a couple of minutes or a couple of last questions?
As Mgadi, you can ask.
Or was that also an old hand? Old hand.
I think so. Hello.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
sorry, my hand was up earlier. Yeah, my question has been answered. Sorry.
Okay, cool. I think that's it. Nobody else has questions. There's nothing in the chat. Has everybody copied and pasted the prompts? You good?
I do have a question, and I'm not sure if I'm audible or not.
Yes, you are.
Oh, yes. There's this confusion here. I'm struggling with the thing of being in the third year. So do I continue, like on my CV, do I continue, I would say, advertising myself as a final year student, or do I proceed and say, like, I advertise myself to a certain specialization? Like if I'm in IT and I'm specializing in software development, do I say I'm a software developer, or do I still say I'm a student doing IT?
I wouldn't say you're a student. You could say you're a software development graduate for the next little while.
Okay, I think that answers my question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. I don't see any other hands. Thank you very much, Gita, for a very informative session. I hope everyone that attended the session will apply it whenever they are applying for jobs, obviously. And thank you so much for availing yourself throughout the year. I mean, you started since, I think it was February when you worked together. So, and it's quite refreshing in how you want to help these young people to get employment opportunities. And guys, Gita is doing this for free. We're not paying her. So she's very much passionate about helping and empowering people. So even next year, we're still gonna have these workshops, to continue to empower the rest of the DUT community. So thank you so much to everyone who attended. Have a good afternoon.
Good luck for your exams, everybody. Take care.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.